Harold, what brings you to Laos?
My great-granddad, he was here in Luang Prabang in 1903.
Deep in the jungle of Laos. Harold,
Hi.
so what brings you to Laos?
Well, my great-granddad, he was here in Luang Prabang in 1903. After getting his business went down the drain in Vientiane because of some small wars, he got this opportunity from a company in Saigon, and together with two of the kings in Luang Prabang, they settled a deal for 1,200 logs of teak. And he took the job. They needed all this log together here. Right here outside the riverbank we were walking by. He started this pretty difficult, call it journey down to Saigon. Approximately 270 miles, 2,700 kilometers of river.
What was he taking? What kind of logs?
Teak logs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the days there was a big teak forest here. They all been furniture and on the decks of rich men's boats. So that's the sad story about it, but it's of course a story too. Well, it took him 1 year. In Phnom Penh, they have to get together all the logs, and they make two big fleets with 70 men on each fleet, and they managed to come down to Saigon after 1 year with all the logs. The logs was pretty big, 15 meter long and 1.5 diameter in the diameter.
Huge teak logs.
Teak logs.
So how does he transport these logs by himself? You say he had a team?
Yeah, I had a big team.
Oh, wow.
And there was a lot of, going down Mekong. That time it was, they met up with unfriendly tribes and they were shooting and
Wow. How was he traversing the falls in these difficult parts of the river?
I don't really know. I only know that he came down to Saigon with all of it.
Do you have a boat or?
No boat.
No boat?
He at least stayed for 1 month in the river.
Oh, wow. 1 month on the river.
Yeah, no, in the river.
In the river.
Knitting together the logs and doing all the stuff you have to do not to lose the logs. So they were swimming. At least for 1 month they were swimming.
What?
Nice flower.
Beautiful.
Orchidea.
So your great-granddad, he came up to Vientiane first, or?
First, yeah, had a big business there. He left Saigon in 1902 with a lot of different goods he bought from Europe for trading and selling along Mekong. And he came to Vientiane March 1903. And then he opened together with a Swiss guy called Fetch.
Right.
And they opened a big business. Went down the drain. Fall apart when it was this conflict in Vientiane and in Laos with killing, shooting, murdering. You have to leave.
Wow.
And lost all his business.
And is that when he went up to Luang Prabang?
Well, then he went down to Saigon and got this new job. He lost all his money, he got this new job. And he started together with the kings in Luang Prabang. They arranged this deal to take out this teak.
Wow. Early explorers coming in this part of the world, I can't even imagine. What kind of challenges did they face?
Yeah, who knows? We don't know where he got the balls to go alone to the Far East from Norway.
Did he get sick when he was?
He was a lot sick. Approximately 1906, you have to go to hospital for a long time because of all these different kind of diseases you got from mosquitoes, and I don't know the name of them in English, but it is common diseases from tropical areas.
He had like a steamer? Was that not used for?
No, that steamer was gone.
The steamer was gone, okay.
A brother of him, engineer from London, made his special made steamer. which you can use on Mekong.
Right.
Put it together in 901 and came to Vientiane 903, I think, with that boat. Then he was on the peak of his career. Everything was going smooth, nice. Yeah. And then this conflict started,
Right.
and he had to leave everything. And then he got this job to take the timber, the logs of teak from Luang Prabang
Right.
to Saigon.
I don't know how you could possibly pass all the falls. That would be very challenging.
Very, very challenging, of course.
But he'd been up and down a few times, so had some experience.
He knew the river.
He knew the river.
Yeah.
Let's have a seat here. Why not?
He wrote some stories and gave it to them, to the people who sell books in Norway. What do you call it in English?
Bookstore?
Yeah, but who?
Publisher?
The publisher.
Right.
He went to publisher with his story. But they said, "Oh, nice story, but you know, Far East is not special from the special for Norwegian." And we had Nansen, you know, and Amundsen, who went to the South Pole and the North Pole,
Right.
and make this Norwegian heart very brave and big. So Far East, not so special.
Wow.
So, but he tried. He made a
Not so special, but you have to travel by boat all the way from Europe to.
But at that time,
Indochina at that time.
everybody was speaking about Nansen, Fridtjof Nansen, and Roald Amundsen.
How many languages was he speaking if he's traveling like this?
In Saigon, he learned Chinese, Vietnamese, a couple of different Vietnamese dialects, and the Khmer and Lao and Russian.
Lao and Russian.
And French and English and German, I guess, too.
And Norwegian, because he's born in Norway.
His partner was from Switzerland, and they speak Deutsch, German. So yeah.
Wow. He has a book that I wish that I could get a copy of, but tell us a bit about this book you have here.
His this daughter from he got two children, probably more, but two. I don't know what. He got one children in Saigon, which is my grandmother, and he got one children in Vientiane. He got married in Vientiane. The daughter of Peter wrote this book.
Wow.
From his diaries.
From his diaries.
Diary. After traveling on Mekong, he settled down in Saigon with big business there, all sort of things. And he was 4 times at Angkor Wat, fell down in a cave and get sued up by a French archaeologist.
Wow.
You know, my English tongue is archaeologist. 3 months later, the archaeologist was killed by the tribes in Angkor Wat.
Oh my God. I read a bit of the book, an excerpt from the book. Man, if we could get the diaries, I wonder if it's anything's online with the diary or something.
Well, yes, it's in French. In French, it's the whole history, but not the book. There's a pretty good resume of it, living and doing on Mekong.
I guess the big question is, how do you feel coming back to Laos?
Now, that's why we came here, because, you know, just see Mekong, feel the vibes, you know, and trying to visualize he was here, Peter was here, my great-granddad was here. That makes me feel very, you know, some special. It's a special story, yeah.
How have you found your time here in Luang Prabang since you've been able to retrace his steps a little bit?
Fantastic, fantastic. It's the second time we went to 4,000 Island 2 years ago, and down the Kone Falls and all the way down to Phnom Penh in Cambodia. So then we discovered a lot, and but now we're staying here for almost 3 weeks, and we just feel the vibes, talk with people, discover Lao people.
When you went down to the falls down on 4,000 Islands, what was that experience like?
Well, when we saw the falls, we were taken to the big falls, and we understand at once you can't bring a boat up here.
Right.
So when my great-granddad came where the Cambodia ends and Laos starts, at the Kone Falls, the Frenchmen had built a railroad to drag the steamers a few kilometers up to the next level of Mekong. When my great-granddad come there, they asked for a price that no man could pay.
Right.
Just to make him not, we won't have you up this river.
Right.
Then he found some local people who told him that maybe we can try with a channel, and they did. Together with 11 Lao people using ropes, winches, building dams behind the boat. They took them 5 days to get this 5 kilometer of a little channel on Mekong. You know, that's why it's called 4,000 Island, because Mekong is wide now, really, really, really big.
Right.
So there's a lot of small channels all over. But still, it's 50, 60, 70 meters of fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to 4,000 Islands, they have a lot of the remnants of this old railroad system that was built
Yeah,
there.
and
Did you see something down there?
Yeah, we came then down there, and suddenly we saw this big sign, you know, in metal with a picture and a whole story about this fantastic. He was able to come and go through these falls as the only person in the world who ever to take a boat up the Kone Falls.
Wow. See, I saw all these placards, I saw the history there. And when I met Harold and he told me that they went down there and they actually found this placard with the story of your grandfather, I said, wow, this is the time to tell this story. Now I have a real, actual person to verify what happened there. So I really appreciate you, Harold.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
It's fantastic.